Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the 2-3 zone. Tony's picks look at the WNBA, and we've got some big time action here on Sunday, nationally televised game day as well. So, a big game still. We're counting down the final games of the WNBA season. We're learning a little bit more as we go along here, Ron, including action that we saw from on Saturday early on with Atlanta, an impressive win over the New York Liberty. Hey, you didn't have to go far with the UNI to get the winners in that one, my friend.
Yeah, we got them both right there, Atlanta easily, and we didn't know Sabrina was going to be out, and that line kind of crept up to like 6.5, 7 too. Still an easy winner, and then an easy under for you there, Ramon. So we started off the day good, 2-0. Let's get it.
Yeah, and we'll look at three games here on Sunday. Now, to be clear, Ron and I filmed this, and there was still some action to be determined that could affect some of the lines in this game, but we'll do the best we can to piece it together here with some very important games for sure. And you have to look no further than our first matchup here between Seattle and Washington. Seattle, a big road favorite here. Washington's in a bit of a tailspin here, Ron, and Seattle getting a lot of attention. 8.5 here, total 160 in this one. We know Washington's lost a couple in a row, and Seattle's won in a couple in a row. Maybe that has something to do with it. And Washington was in action in a tight game in the second half with the Aces when we were doing this, so they were kind of hanging in there for sure on the number. What do you think here, Seattle and Washington?
Yeah, I'm probably going to look at the total in this one. I had that kind of right on the nose, but we don't know what Washington's going to do right now. They're trailing the Aces as we expected. Maybe the Aces pull away in the second half big time. I don't know what's going to happen there. But you saw Seattle go into Dallas and just manhandle the Wings the other night. I think Seattle's got their mojo back. They don't like to play at home apparently, but they love to play on the road. So let's go with the Storm, and I think I capped it around 4 or 5.5, but again, there was with Washington on a back-to-back. I think the lines makers are adding that couple more points. So, but I think Seattle's got it. We already talked about we're not trusting Washington anymore. So, give me the Storm to lay the points there.
Okay, yeah, we'll see on that. Look, it definitely was lower on the opener and then started to build up a little bit. I'd imagine if Washington come back, we'll be laying a little bit of a smaller of a number here. We'll just see what happens in that game. You folks will know the result before we do, kind of, the way you're watching this video. So, hey, I'm going to take the under, though, I think, in this one, Ron, with Seattle and Washington. Not too impressed right now with what we're seeing from Washington. Defensively as well, but at 160 here, and I don't know, it feels like as we're winding down these last couple of weeks here, we're seeing more and more games where losing teams aren't able to crack much into the mid 70s. Really, feels like when some of these mediocre teams are going at it. I say mediocre, Seattle's been on that tailspin big time. This is super important here. They're in 7th place, a half a game ahead of the Valkyries for 8th, and just 1 game ahead of the Sparks. So they need to win. They just don't need to cover, and that may be a big factor, but I'm sure they'll be trying hard here in this one. All right, Ron says go ahead and lay the points with Seattle on the road, and I said go under with Seattle and Washington in Sunday's action. All right, next up, the Golden State Valkyries and Dallas Wings. This feels like the infirmary game here a little bit, Ron, with the Valkyries. More in. Is this a repeat or something? More injuries now for the Valkyries. Here, Tiffany Hayes, and her injury seems a bit serious as well, with a knee sprain, it looks like right now. Now, I don't think they've ruled her out for the season. I think she is questionable, but she joins Xanda Lassini out indefinitely. We already know about the previous injuries. Carla Leite is questionable for this one. Monique Billings is questionable. Big time problems here for Valkyries. But look, they're taking on Dallas with no Arike, no Ureru, and now Quinterly, who's been doing a pretty good job at guard this season, especially when Beckers was out. She's going to be questionable for this game. I don't know who's in or who's out, Ron. All I know is Golden State is likely to still be a road favorite here, but that number might be dwindling a little bit with all these injuries. I'm showing 2.5, 159.5. Golden State should be much better than that, but this is a mash unit.
Yeah, just like we saw Seattle, we needed that game for Seattle. I think that you're looking at this Golden State team off a few losses here in a row. They really need this win, and I think they can get it. I would just take Golden State on the money line in this one. They're just the better team than Dallas. I don't really care who's playing out there, but I look for Golden State to win by about 5 to 7 points in this one. So give me the Valkyries.
Okay, Ron says go ahead and trust them here. Shouldn't have buried the lead, right? I mean, Golden State, well, I guess we just kind of mentioned it. 8th place right now, half a game ahead of the Sparks. Basically, it's going to be, Ron, I'm pretty sure, Seattle, Golden State, or LA for two of those teams into the 3 spots. Indiana starting to pick up that momentum we've talked about here a little bit. I guess they still need to get away, but a very, very important game and a winnable game against, one of the bottom teams in the league. But, don't tell Dallas that. They don't stop trying. Now, they didn't look good last game. They've lost 4 in a row, but Golden State has lost 3 in a row here. And I'm not sure I'm liking what I'm seeing from our usual Golden State Valkyries defense here. I know this one's kind of moving lower for sure, and I couldn't read any trends that are going to say go over in this game, but I'm going to go over in this one, and that's from someone who just went over on about the last 10 shows at all of our games. I'm going over in this one at 159.5. I think when players get injured, Ron, I always look to the defensive side as lacking when stars go out or starters go out because they are the better defenders in general. It's not the whole handicap for me, but I will go over in this one. Part of it is the Valkyries. Season done, and look, we talk about them and their offense, but they still are not a big over team this year. In fact, they trend slightly under. In fact, 13 and 18 of the under is a dog, but I'm going over. And Ron says take Golden State and take the money line to be sure here in this one against the Dallas Wings on the road. All right, one more now, and this is also a big one here, but because of the Fever's predicament, the Lynx are a big favorite here, Ron, at 10 and 166.5. Now, I'm sure that this is because I think Nafisa Collier has a pretty good shot at making this lineup. I think that's why the line is where it is. Not a lot of books had the lineup when we were doing this show, and we know Indiana's still having massive problems with their injuries as well. More injuries for them. I mean, they just Sims questionable. Bibby, we talked to who they're signing, who they're putting in. Bibby's questionable now too. Not to mention what's wrong with these Fever. They just keep going down here. So, anyways, 9.5 here. Actually, we did see a little bit of a move here a short time ago. 9.5, 166. Ron.
Yeah, if you look at this one, we just saw this the other night, that big way over, which I was not expecting that. But Minnesota dominated this game until late. I mean, like I said, the backdoor cover came in late. The only reason that I think the Fever hung in there is because Lexi Hall had an uncharacteristic game. We saw that with Paige Beckers when she scored 44, and Seattle came in the next game and just actually absolutely hammered them. And I think the same thing happens, but we talk about the Lynx all the time. Do the Lynx want to play? If they want to play, they're going to beat you. But I think they do really hammer them because they had them beat big time in the last one. So, give me the Lynx.
Okay. To lay those points, says Ron, with the Lynx here in this one against Indiana. Hull did, have some very good numbers, but in this one, look, Ron, it seems like to me when the Lynx are covering these games, I sometimes wonder how much defense they end up playing. But oh man, these are some major personnel issues for Indiana coming in, not to mention that Minnesota does trend under at home. I think the number is going to be too high for me. I've got to go back to my under here, and I'll take under 166 here with Indiana and Minnesota. All right. That's going to do it. Ron said go with Minnesota, by the way, at
Yep.
-9.5. Good. Yep. All right, great job here. Looks like we're getting back hot after that one little blip. We had a little bump there. It kind of interrupted our hot streak, and now we're heating up again. So that's what happens. Check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Ron, Sunday's here. We just saw some college football on Saturday, and we saw some other sports as well. We're getting really rolling here this week at Tony's Picks.
Yep, college football is going now. We saw that game today, K-State and Iowa State in Ireland. Got a few more on the books today, so looking forward to that. And really, baseball and WNBA is kind of taking a back seat today. So it's the dog days of summer are over. Thank goodness. We got a lot to do now, a lot of capping, and I'm looking forward to it. So keep it going. And like I said, last night I did lose my best bet with the Minnesota under, but yeah, I got my best bet going today. It's playing right now and it's losing. So hopefully we can bounce back and maybe the Sky can win this game. But yep, that's what I got right now at Tony's Picks. Baseball, I've been red hot. Last week I'm up over 1,000 units in baseball. So got to keep pressing on. Let's do it.
And you can check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all the premium pick packages, including those from Ron and myself and all the cappers over at Tony's Picks. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. You'll see Ron on plenty of leaderboards. I'm on some of them over there as well. Check out those leaderboards and get signed up. All right, that's going to do it here for the 2-3 zone. And I'm going to have Ron back and hopefully we'll get Justin in. Best to you, Justin. Hope everything's great. We'll look to hopefully get him back here at least later on this week. If we don't get him for the Monday card, Ron, we know we got 2 games to look at. They're total mismatches, but still important for the placement of the teams
Yes,
here
sir.
forward. Yeah, for sure. And we'll see if Sabrina can make it in that lineup. All right, it's going to do it here. And thanks to Ron Crawford. I'm Ramon Scott, 2-3 zone. Thank you for joining us.
Good luck, everybody.